Racing. Myself and Sam McKee will be along to call all the races. And in just a few moments, it's our pre-race show starring the King, George Anthony, and Hollywood Hayden.
Becomes the first for the world's richest female racer.
Congratulations to the Some Beach Somewhere connections.
Coming up, digs into the rail for Campbell. Bittersweet wins the Breeders' Crown.
And a very pleasant good afternoon and a very special day it is here at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs in probably the 50-year history of the sport here at Mohegan Sun. We'd like to welcome all of our good friends attending the broadcast worldwide as we go live all the way to Australia and New Zealand. We'd like to welcome all of our good friends across the United States and Canada. Many people, of course, watching on the simulcasting network, and many of our good friends who always let us in their homes. What a special day it is. I'm here with the Hall of Famer Hollywood Hayden here this afternoon. George Anthony, 14 races are on the card. 12 are championship finals of the Breeders' Crown this afternoon. 59 degrees is the post-time temperature. The winds are south at 10 miles per hour. We are getting a sprinkle of rain here in the Pocono Mountains, but I believe as this time, Holly, that the track conditions should be fast. 12 finals of the Breeders' Crown, such a special day of racing for all of us here. The greatest equine stars in the world will perform here this afternoon, and Holly and I will take you all along the way. The 2012 Pacer of the Year, Holly, Captain Treacherous is probably the heavyweight fight of the night here with Vegas Vacation, the 2012 Pacer of the Year right here.
That's right, from the first crop of Some Beach Somewhere, which is outstanding. Like father, like son. It's a like father, like son situation, George. 20 for 21 lifetime for Some Beach Somewhere, 19 for 22 for the captain. A beaten favorite, though, last year in the Breeders' Crown as a 2-year-old. Now, Tim Tetrick, he's got 10 Breeders' Crowns, and he's a month before he even turns 32. So we'll see if Captain Treacherous can follow what Camtastic did. He was the 2-year-old, also Pacer of the Year, and as a 3-year-old, guess what he drew in the Breeders' Crown? Post 1, and he won.
All right, that's good. Pacer of the Year, Captain Treacherous. Here he is coming down the stretch at the Meadowlands. He's only been defeated one time, Holly, right here in the Battle of Brandywine for $500,000.
It was a nose, too, on the wire. There, right there, is winning the Meadowlands pace, and the captain has been everything as advertised. Last week in the elimination, he was fully extended by Vegas Vacation, and he still won handily on the wire in an amazing effort. That might have been the race if there was anybody left that swayed him over to the Horse of the Year side of the captain.
Well, we can't wait to see what he's going to do tonight. He is the morning line favorite from the rail, and Tim Tetrick, who we're going to have on the show in just a few moments, is aboard to drive. How about this year's undefeated 3-year-old trotting filly, the great Be a Magician? There she is, of course, coming down the stretch. 14 for 14, Holly. She looks unstoppable here tonight. Do we have a Horse of the Year honors?
Certainly looks like she can be. She's right there in the running with the captain. 151 flat. She's not only the fastest 3-year-old filly, she's the fastest 3-year-old of the year. Nifty Norman, the trainer, he won a Breeders' Crown with Poof She's Gone back in 2009. A daughter of a Breeders' Crown winner, Cadabra. She already owns the earnings record as a 2- and 3-year-old. And get this, the owners, Mel Hartman and Dave McDuffie, they have the fastest 3-year-old Colt. That's right, Spider Blue Chip. and filly, Be a Magician. What a year.
And you got a picture of the White Knight, Brian Sears, who will be doing the driving for this fantastic Be a Magician, looking to stay undefeated for this year, going 15 for 15. Let's see if she can do it this afternoon. How about the undefeated this year's three-year-old pacing filly, I Love the Nightlife. Here she is coming down the stretch, 12 of 13 this year, Holly.
That's right. And if she does win tonight, she breaks the earnings record of 2 and 3, set by last year's stablemate. That's right, put on a show. Also for the same barn, Chris Ryder and Richard Young, also a daughter of Rock and Roll Hanover. She can probably join the $2 million club later on this year. And how about Horses of the Year, 3-year-old pacing fillies? This happened 3 times, George. Fan Hanover did it in '81, Bunny Lake did it 12 years ago, and Rainbow Blue did it last in 2004. Rainbow Blue's daughter appears on the card tonight to race against her.
Another millionaire, Holly, Horse of the Year contender, no doubt about it, here at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs. So that's just some of the great talent that's here this afternoon and this evening for all of us here to enjoy. As I said before, this is the finest card for sure in the history of the sport right here at Pocono Downs. The crop of 2- and 3-year-olds and the age pacing mares and trotters and whatever we have, Holly, you got to say that this is the finest crop we've seen in a long time.
That's right. If you remember last year's Breeders' Crown, the 3 major contenders are Be a Magician, Captain Treacherous, and I Love the Nightlife. They are 37 for 39 combined this year. That's 2 losses. Yet all 3 got beat in the Breeders' Crown last year as 2-year-olds. So they haven't even lost as many races since. It's going to be a great battle. This is a night that'll go the furthest towards deciding the Horse of the Year.
Our first 2 races tonight are the Invitational for 3-year-old pacing and trotting event. They're going to be $75,000, but more than that, take a look at our Pick 4 guaranteed pools here tonight. We're going to have 3 of them, and that starts with the 3rd race, the first division of the Breeders' Crown here tonight. Races 3 through 6, 7 through 10, and 11 through 14. A $25,000 guaranteed pool, Holly.
It's great. Wonderful betting opportunities. Now, in the event you have a race like a Be a Magician where you're not, hey, you could turn it into a Pick 3. There's no problem. You can spread out in some of the other races because the same Pick 4 that Be a Magician appears in has the 2 most wide open races, in my opinion, on the back end of it, so that doesn't really hurt the payout.
Okay, who wants to be a millionaire in here tonight, Holly? A lot of millionaires to tell us about. Give us a recap of what you feel.
That's right. Some of the millionaires look on the card right here. You can see Andrew Vett. That's right. Loyal Opposition is up next for her. She's passed 2, and she's looking for 3 straight Breeders' Crown victories. Nobody has done that as a pacing mare at 4, 5, and 6. The only pacer who's done it at all is Jenna's Beach Boy. He did it at 2, 3, and 4. There's Arch Madness. He's now the 12th member of the $4 million club. But there's another record, 2, tonight he can tie and set. The 9-year-old's never won a Breeders' Crown. He's 9. And he can have 6 years between his Breeders' Crown of 2007, Oberdinato Hanover, and tonight. That's never been done. Foiled again. He's already the richest pacer of all time. If he wins tonight, he goes past Varenne as the highest earning North American bred standard bred ever with a victory tonight, and he won his elimination handily.
Okay, so there are the millionaires, Andrew Vett, Arch Madness, and Foiled again. Some of the greatest horses we've seen in this sport throughout the years, Holly, and you've got to see them so many times at the Meadowlands. We're going to take a short break from here and wrap things up. We have Sam McKee, who's joining the broadcast here tonight, Jim Baviglia, as well as calling the action, and we have Minnesota Twins manager Tom Kelly with us here tonight.
Coming this fall, in these fields where the echoes of the past meet the opportunities of the future, who will shatter world records? Who will rise above all others? Who will claim the mighty purses? Select your champion this fall. Winning people, winning pedigree, winning tradition. Winning is in our blood. Hanover, the greatest name in harness racing. Welcome back, everyone, to Breeders' Crown Night 2013 here at Mohegan Sun Pocono. We are joined in the winner's circle by a special guest, the retired manager of the Minnesota Twins, Mr. Tom Kelly, who is the 1991 Manager of the Year in the American League, won 2 World Series titles. And, Tom, the Twins are the reason you're here tonight. You won a trip to the Kentucky Derby, but demanded a trade because you're a harness racing guy.
Well, the Twins were gracious enough to retire my number, Sam, and put me up there on the wall with some of the great Twins of all time, which was overwhelming to start with. And then they presented me with a trip to the Kentucky Derby, which was a wonderful thing. But as they were doing this, my mind started working, as it does sometimes. And I started thinking, boy, I think I'll wait a couple weeks and then approach them and see if I can switch this out for a Breeders' Crown, because harness racing is really the sport I really love besides the baseball. And I enjoy it so much, and it's just sort of part of me. So, again, I was able to switch that out or make a trade for the Breeders' Crown instead of the Derby. So here we are at Pocono. So it's looking forward to a great night.
It's going to be a fantastic night of racing. Now, you've bred and owned quite a few standardbreds and quite a few good ones. Do you have an all-time favorite?
Well, Printed has to be our favorite. He made over, I think, 600,000, or right at 600,000 for us, and he was a big part of our stable at the time, and we had at certain times 12, 13. That number would fluctuate, seemed like week to week, but Printed would have to be one of our favorites of all time, and a number of drivers that are driving this evening drove him for us, so we appreciate their efforts. As always, and of course, Corey Callahan drove his first winner with one of our horses. So, again, it was sort of a fun thing at the time, and I'm sure Corey probably remembers that. It's like a ball player remembering his first hit or first home run or first win. It's the same idea. So, again, there's some similarities here and some ties that were, grown over the year. Not serious ties, but ties nonetheless.
Now, do you own any horses right now, Tom?
No, Sam. We've got out of business about 3 years ago, and probably itching to get back. And this doesn't make it any easier because there's a lot of itches growing right here, and this is the ultimate of racing, and to be part of the Breeders' Crown events. And to all the horsemen and owners that got their horse here, it's got to be a very, very special time. So we're all envious of that and wish we were in their shoes.
Well, Tom Kelly, thanks so much for joining us at the Breeders' Crown here at Mohegan Sun Pocono 2013. We're going to take a quick time out. We'll find out about the Bionic Man's draws on tonight's card, including Captain Treacherous, right after these short messages. This fall, Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment turns 90 degrees counterclockwise with the opening of our brand new facility. Picture you and your friends watching the races and major sporting events on 60-foot TV screens in our state-of-the-art sports bar. There's plenty of trackside seating both inside and out, a brand new private owners club with all the upscale amenities, and our rooftop outside bar with a great view of the New York City skyline. A new era of the world's greatest harness action kicks off Saturday, November 23rd. Are you a harness racing VIP?
I'm a VIP! Woo!
Anyone can be a VIP by joining VIP Stable, the #1 partnership group in harness racing.
I'm a VIP.
A VIP Stable racehorse is the best way to get into the winner's circle.
I'm a VIP.
We're all VIPs.
Call VIP Stable or visit VIPstable.com to find out more.
Last year, Timmy Tetrick had 12 drives in the Breeders' Crown, 4 wins, and 12 checks. That's right, 12 checks. And this year, Tim Tetrick, you have plenty of assignments. Tell us a little bit about, let's look at your drives this evening. We'll start with the first Breeders' Crown. Tell us a little bit about Don Dorado in race 3.
Well, he's a talented colt. Whether he can trot 52, he's never been stretched out to that. He's always stayed on the 5/8. But he won the Sire Stake final, and he's been right there, been winning every time.
When you remember the horse like Father Patrick, are you driving for a piece of the purse here or what?
Well, you got to be smart. You got to put him in play. He's still a contender. But to me, going in the race, Father Patrick's definitely the one to beat, and you don't want to give up second, third money trying to beat him, which it happens sometimes. So you got to play it smart, and hopefully you get lucky and beat him on the other way.
Tim Tetrick had 7 division titles last year. The previous record for any driver was 4 in a year. Got a lot of contenders tonight. 4th race, Tim, Ali Blues, 15-1 morning line. This filly, what do you know about her?
You know, I've never driven her. I've watched her. You know, she likes to either win or be off the board, looks like. But, you know, she's a nice mare. Tactor always has them ready for the Breeders' Crown. So, you know, with these races, you never can tell.
Tactor, Philly, and Pampered Princess comes to mind. But, of course, that was a Hambletonian in 2007. A little different story there.
Yeah, I didn't do any good that day, but I've learned a lot since then. And, you know, I'm getting better at what I do. And, you know, I wish I could redo that race over.
Let's go to the 5th race here, number 7, Scream and Shout, 5-1. But here's a maiden, a Muscles Yankee filly. The good news that she was second last start. The bad news, it was 10 3/4 lengths back. John Fielding's got 10 Breeders' Crowns. What about her chances?
You know, I was an easy second. I had everybody else beat, so I just played that into her, you know, strong suit and tried to have her brave for this week. And, you know, I really liked her. She showed to me some talent last week, and you never know what could happen. You know, Cooler Schooner is a great mare, and there's other ones in her that are great, but you never know what could happen.
And it's hard to believe that Tim Tetrick owns the record for the Breeders' Crown highest payout at 71 with Cordelia. What do you remember about her?
Yeah, she was cool. I set 3rd or 4th along the rail at the Meadowlands and never left the rail, and she shot up there and got it done.
Is this a catch me if you can race with Cooler Schooner?
Yeah, she goes right down the highway. She can carry her speed a long, long way. And, you know, for me, you just hope she falters late, you know, to give us everybody else a chance.
Let's flip to the 6th race, market share. The last time a Hambletonian winner the following year at 4 won the Breeders' Crown, Mac LaBelle. Can market share do it? He hasn't been winning, but he's been good.
Most definitely, he can win. You know, I just keep waiting for him to show right up and do what he did last year. You know, he's had a little bit of the 4-year-old blues here in the mid-season. He had some sickness issues, but his last 2 were steps in the right direction, and never can count out Linda Toscano. She does a great job and always has her horses ready for the big show.
Tim's only 31 years old. Have you ever seen a trotting open division like this?
It's amazing. You know, all the horses that have come back to participate as 4- and 5-, 6-year-olds. It's amazing, and man, what a tough group of trotters.
In the 7th race, I Love the Nightlife has never been passed by a horse since last year's Breeders' Crown. That's right, she's gone the entire year without anybody going past her. 12 for 13. This is your 3rd, number 7 of the day. 3-7 supposed to be lucky. What about Nightlife?
You said it all. She's a great horse. Shows up to win. The only time she got beat this year, you can blame that one on me. You know, she's just done everything I've asked her. She's going to have a tough go with She Be Stingin'. She set the world record last week, but I got tons of faith in my mare. She's tough as nails.
Did she have the layoff because of tough racing in Ohio?
Well, that, and they just they picked one or the other. So they went the Little Brown Jug for Philly's Jugette instead of going to Lexington, and they brought her home, qualified her twice here, and you know they were hoping for elimination. If they would have known that, they probably would have raced the 2nd week of Lexington, but they didn't, and she qualified great.
You already won here from out of the pocket with I Love the Nightlife. You got a world record holder inside of you, She Be Stingin'. You mind sitting the 2-hole tonight?
I would love to. If I'd rather be in charge of it, but you know, we'll just see what they give us, and you know, definitely gonna have to be up close and try to be in charge if we can.
For those people joining us, Tim Tetrick's here. 10 Breeders' Crowns already, not even 32 years old. 8th race, number 4, So Surreal. Now, Ray Schnitker and yourself have combined one more left to win the pace and the cane pace. What about So Surreal? Nice 2-year-old.
Love him. Very talented colt. I've loved him from day one that I've gotten to set behind him. You know, last week I got a little too far back, but he made me look good, made up a ton of ground, and you know, if he gets any kind of trip and a straight shot, man, look out, boys. He's a nice horse.
You said he was running in a little bit here last week, running out at Lexington. What do you do in that situation?
You know, just change it up. We made some changes, and you know, hopefully he's good for it. We fixed it the right direction, and you know, I expect big things out of this horse.
He's a brother to Well Said, who won this race in 2008. On to the 9th race. Check Me Out, number 2. She won the Breeders' Crown at 2. $104,000 more than last year, as she's still going for that $2 million mark. I liked her last 3/8 last week.
It was much improved. Our last 2 starts, I've been very happy with her. You know, she's been making us scratch her head all year, but I think she's finally turned the corner, and you know, you're going to see the champion mare that she is.
When you're a great 2- and 3-year-old and don't come back at 4 that great, can you recapture that?
I think they can. You know, never say never, especially to great horses, and she's found a way to come back into form. You know, she just had a rough spell. You know, Ray doesn't know what it was. I definitely don't know, but you know, I'm proud that she's rounding back into form where she was such a great 2- and 3-year-old.
No pacing mare, turn to the 10th race, has ever won 3 straight Breeders' Crowns. Andrevette tries for that tonight. Is she as good as last 2 years?
Yes. You know, she's had some spells too, but one thing about her, she doesn't win all the time, but she always sets a lot of fractions for her horses. But I'm tell you what, she is tough to get by, and she's always there to beat. Everybody knows her, and you know, I'm just privileged to get to drive her. She shows up to work.
Were you happy with her elimination? Was she good, lucky, or both?
All the above. She's, you know, one, she's a great mare, so she did exactly what I wanted. She sprinted off the gate hard, and when I asked her down the lane, she shot through the passing lane, and got up to win by a head, but it was 27 flat home from out of the pocket. So, and she's a big mare, and that doesn't always work for big horses. And she was very, very good.
Let's turn to the 11th. We don't see Longshot and Tim Tetrick often mentioned in the same sentence, but here Southwind Coco scratches in on the bottom here. But you have Bill Augenstein and some of the people that own market share, some of the big horses. What about the chances of her getting some money here?
I think money part would be good. Last week she had a ton of go until a horse made a break in front of her and kind of messed her up. But she did have trot. She's not going to be able to be a magician unless something weird happens. But, money, a nice check would be good for the owners and myself.
Number 4 here is Be a Magician. Who's horse of the year right now? Be a Magician or Captain Treacherous?
Well, I'd have to give it to Captain. That's my choice. But, I drive him, but he's won a lot of tough trips. They've tried to beat him. They've parked him the entire miles. And, he just keeps coming back, and he hates to lose races.
We're going to turn the page to the Captain. 12th race, number 1. Captain Treacherous has the rail. Last week, wow, made a believer out of a lot of people. Was that his best race last week?
It's definitely one of them. Every race that I've gotten to drive him, he's been awesome. But probably the start that he got beat here on the battle was just amazing to me. Parked almost every step and never give up. And at the wire, he still thought he'd win the race. So he is a tough animal.
Sometimes great horses are defined by the race or two they lose. I mean, that nose race might have been one of his all-time greats.
It's amazing. The trip that he went, if he would end up winning, they'd still been talking about it. And they still talk about him getting beat. So it's just amazing. He's a special animal.
Okay, Captain, and we'll turn to the 13th race, Smile and Eli. Well, Eli's coming in second. Hambletonian, Colonial, Elimination, but you got a break. The Hambletonian winner from Post 1 is Scratch, Royalty for Life. How does that change your strategy, if at all?
Well, it does a little bit, but my big thing is I got to try to either get around Spider Blue Chip or get to where I can follow him, and it's going to be tough. His Spider Blue Chip's very tough off the gate, and Creatine can leave fast too. So, I just got to see how it works out and plays out. But my horse is rounded into form well. His last 2 has been good. He qualified and he raced good last week.
When you see a horse like Smile and Eli, Tim, he didn't race last year too. Does that help him or hurt him, you think, as a 3-year-old?
I think it definitely hurts him because there's a few races that I've driven him where he's been in spots where he doesn't know how to dig in and fight horses where you would learn that at 2. And, I think that's one of his biggest drawbacks.
Okay, I'm going to put up a couple fingers here. How many Tim Tetrick Crown victories do you think we'll have tonight? I got 3, 4, 2.5. Am I close somewhere in there?
I hope so. Every crown you get is special, so if 1 is the number, I'd be very happy to get that. But I expect more, but I'm very hungry that way.
Tim Tetrick's got 10 crowns coming into tonight. Good luck tonight. We're going to come back with the King for the Daily Double.
Thank you.
White Birch Farm is the ultimate standardbred facility with a spacious 5/8 mile track, a sand jog track, and a straight strip and a relaxed, stress-free atmosphere. With roomy, well-ventilated barns and stalls and numerous turnout paddocks, White Birch is a horse haven for many top stables. Other amenities include an equisizer and a brand new equine swimming pool under construction. White Birch is the breeder of Pace of the Year Captain Treacherous. Buy your next champion from their strong consignments at the sales this fall. White Birch, the Cadillac of standardbred facilities. Before there was baseball, football, and NASCAR, there was harness racing. Visit the Harness Racing Museum and Hall of Fame to learn more about America's first national pastime. Participate in interactive exhibits like the Auction Challenge game, where you bid against friends to buy that champion racehorse. Test your talents at calling a harness race. Feel what it's like to sit in the driver's seat and experience the thrill of harness racing in our 3D simulator. Visit the Harness Racing Museum and Hall of Fame in Goshen, New York, with free admission 7 days a week.
Okay, welcome back to Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs. George Anthony along with Hollywood Hayden here this afternoon. We're getting just a little bit of drizzle out there. The track conditions still rated fast by the judges. We hope the weatherman gives us a little more sun here, and hopefully it'll stay as a fast surface all night, Holly. And we're just about ready for the first race post-parade here tonight. The first race will be an invitational for 3-year-olds this evening on the pace, $75,000. And in the second race, the invitational 3-year-old Pennsylvania Sires are on the trot. Pennsylvania Sired preferred. Both races in the double, Holly, $75,000.
That's right. When you look at Pennsylvania here, Pennsylvania's been prominent in the Breeders' Crown. After tonight, that'll be 32 races competed here in the state of Pennsylvania in the Breeders' Crown. John Campbell, you have to go back 28 years the last time he won a race in Pennsylvania, Express Ride as a 2-year-old. So we'll see if we can fast forward to how prominent Pennsylvania has been in the Crown, the second time it's hosting all 12. Here, birthday boy Kevin McDermott turns 46 today. Lone Wolf Courier looks like the horse to beat. McDermott has raced Hypnotic Blue Chip in the Breeders' Crown, racing in that tough older division. It's a pretty good race here, pretty competitive opener.
Holly and I will take you through the Daily Double right after the post parade of the first race here this afternoon. And we talk about Pennsylvania, Holly, and there's a lot of great breeding that's going on in the sport here, and a lot of incentive for the owners to invest in the state of Pennsylvania.
That's right. The $8 million plus Breeders' Bonus Program is right here, and a lot of incentive. If you've noticed, it used to be Pennsylvania was a state where you race occasionally as you're passing through. Now it's become a destination point, and almost any horseman is looking at it on their calendar. Many, many big races that have been added in the last 6-7 years are now go-to events.
A lot of Pennsylvania old and sired is an incentive in the breeding standpoint as well. There's a lot of incentive for breeding in this state, and it's been showing that we continuously grow. As years ago, you'd see not too many divisions of a stake race that was Pennsylvania owned or sired, and now you're seeing quite a bit of it, Holly.
Yeah, and especially with an announcement like Some Beach Somewhere Sun. That's right, Captain Treacherous coming to the state of Pennsylvania in the year 2015. That means Dragon Again's already going to Ohio, so you can see the impact that may have right there. The leading sire in history of the sport and all of horse racing is Western Hanover. That's right, at almost $200 million. That'll happen shortly. He even has a son on the card tonight. Western Hanover won 4. He's the last sire to win 4 Breeders' Crowns in the same year, doing that back in 2009. So the impact of the program is felt not only nationwide, but all the way through Canada, too.
All right, it's good to see all of our friends. And once again, if you're just tuning in, of course, you're at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs in the state of Pennsylvania in the Pocono Mountains. And I say that, Holly, because of our live broadcast that's going all over the world, international. So we'd like to welcome all of our friends from New Zealand and Australia, as well as our good friends across the United States and Canada that are always tuning in, and many wonderful people always letting us in their homes throughout the season. This is the greatest card in the history of Pocono Downs, 50 years.
That's right. It really is. This card is power-packed right from 1 through 14, including the Daily Double, and a lot of the first 2 races. There's a lot of implications later on in the card. As you see, Yannick and Tactor will be prominent early. Now keep in mind, there's 12 Breeders' Crowns. Only 3 drivers have 11 of the 12 Breeders' Crown favorites tonight. That's Yannick Gingras, Tim Tetrick, and Brian Sears. And just so happens those 3 drivers were the hot guys the last several seasons.
We're just about a moment or two away from the first race post parade, and we have our bugler that's here tonight. He's also a race caller at Chester, Harris Chester, of course, now called Harris Philadelphia, and that's James Witherite, who's going to be outside in just a moment. Hope it's not too rainy for him out there. Again, the track condition fast, Holly, and just a moment away from the call to the post for tonight's first race, the first half of the Daily Double here tonight. It's also a Pick 3 event in the first race. 15% takeout, lowest in the nation. Exacta, Big Triple, Superfecta, Win Place, and Show.